Do, 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 do. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday, December 19th. Tommy, good morning. See No Evil and Magooch and Sweet Tea, good morning. Yes, I am late this morning. It was a long day yesterday. I had to take my granddaughter to school because those guys haven't been feeling well lately. My granddaughter is just now feeling better, but my daughter wasn't. So I took her to school, and what did I do yesterday? Oh yeah, and then I went out and sold at the admin building until 3:00, which was yesterday was crazy because I didn't even get my tablecloth up yesterday. I didn't expect there to be anybody there because I show up a day early because I'm busy today. It's normally the day I go there, and I just get hammered before I even get the fucking tablecloth on the table. I think it literally took me an hour to get the tablecloth on the table, which is very simple to do, but not when you have people you just have to start throwing stuff up on the table and opening up the coolers just because I don't want to miss out on these sales because these people are only going to be here for a few minutes. So it was wild. I did good yesterday. So then I come home and I work all the way up until 9:00. I'm usually in bed by 6:30, 7:00. I don't normally see 9 p.m. And so because I knew this morning I would have to do my show and then I have to leave my house by 8:00 this morning. So that only gives me 4 hours between the time the show's done and the time I have to leave. So the only thing I have to do now is dip chocolate strawberries. They're already toothpicked. All my strawberry shortcake. I baked 2 dozen strawberry shortcakes yesterday. I did everything that I had to do, except for dip the strawberries this morning. So I can at least halfway relax for the next few hours. So I can sit here, do my show, which I don't have nothing to talk about today. But I don't have to be stressed out about all this shit I have to do. So I feel good about it. I feel good about the situation. It's a good problem to have. Yes. Yeah, it is. People were, in fact, I had to make a delivery yesterday when I got home. Before I even, right when I got home, somebody was like, yada, yada, yada. It's a security guard from that place. But they're working at some other building that happens to be just right down the road from me. So I was like, well, shit, I'll just come down there. And she bought another $75 worth of stuff. So I think people are finally getting their last minute little Christmas shopping done. So I think I should do really well this weekend too. Beautiful. Work is good. It's better to be busy than not enough work. True. 100% true. Me, it's crazy because you have to put the work in ahead of time. Because I've been in this situation before. Like I have a good day and then I have a 2-day event coming up and nothing to sell. And you just don't have the time. You don't realize how much time it takes to stock up until you don't have anything to sell and you have to go out and sell. It's not a good feeling to have. So I really put in the work this week. I got all kinds of chocolate in there. So between that and the shortcakes I made yesterday and the strawberries I make today, I should have enough to get through this weekend. And it could end up being a disaster where we don't sell anything this weekend because we've done this event before, but the chick that did this event cannot get the normal space. So it's not at the same location. So it's a new location this year. So it's always a gamble. Deb Roberts, good morning. Good to see you. But yeah, so that's why I'm late. Long story short, I just woke up not too long ago, made some coffee, looked at X for about 5 minutes, and that's all I had time to do. So I did watch an episode of Baron Coleman last night, who he's kind of new on the block for YouTube. Former attorney. I don't know if he was I think he was a defense attorney. But he's done a really good job. Basically, his lane for the whole Charlie Kirk assassination has been the video. Like, he and some other people have broken the videos down frame by frame by frame, and they have got yesterday was pretty fucking crazy, man. It really looks like the security people are all in on it. I mean, we already knew they were all in on it to begin with, but they've got some fucking explaining to do now. Some, this is my my honest prediction. I really think that at least one of those security guards is going to end up offing themselves. It's going to start happening. You watch. Within the next short amount of time, them guys are going to start disappearing. Whether they disappear themselves or somebody else disappears them, they're going to start going, because there is a lot of that we don't know about this, and it ain't no fucking low-level security guards that are just involved in this. This involves a lot of people, man. A lot of people, and it goes all the way up to J.D. Vance. I don't know if it goes all the way up to Trump, but we know J.D. Vance has got some explaining to do. Being Mr. Body Snatcher, traveling with that body that's all burnt and fucking charred to hell. That's obviously not shot. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. Yes, 100%. So they have, you really have to watch Baron Coleman if you want to see the breakdown, because this is not like you can just tell the story about, this person's guilty and this is, you got to see this shit for yourself. And, even these guys have watched, like Baron yesterday had this guy on, and Baron said himself, he literally has watched this video 250 times, and he did not see what this other guy's seeing. So, whoever is responsible for doing, it's a whole bunch of people, they're in fucking trouble, man, because they have the entire world being internet sleuths right now. And the problem is, for the people that did this, is that it ain't the police that did it. So you have a lot of people in law enforcement and the medical industry that are like, that ain't right. That ain't how it happened. Just, So it's going to be interesting. I truly think that some of those guys are going to start dying. It's just how it works when you get to this stage of the game. Everybody knows what time it is. Okay. They're going to get got. They're found out already. It's just a matter of time. And so, we have governments involved in this. Charlie Kirk got so big and such an influence, and then he pivoted, and they're like, fuck you. You're not going to fucking do that to us, buddy. You made a fucking deal. And you don't fucking get access to us and then think you're going to fucking pivot. Okay. And so they kill him, and now they're going to have to fucking stop the bleeding, because they don't want this to turn into fucking Epstein, where, we already know, like, everyone from Bill Gates to Bill Clinton to Prince Andrew's involved in that shit, that nasty shit. This is the same thing. There's governments involved in this. This was like a world, the people that run the world organized this hit because they were unhappy with Charlie saying the things he was saying, exposing the things. One of the things that I think that got Charlie killed was the fact that There's a video of him mentioning 4 women that he calls permanent Washington, D.C., Susan Rice, and 3 other women. I looked them all up at one point, but you don't even know the names of these women. And he says that in the video. He goes, most Americans don't even know who these women are. He goes, but this is permanent Washington, D.C. They're not your friend. And they work against the American people. And then pretty soon they kill him. But there's a lot of reasons why he could have been killed. But anyway, it's all very fascinating. And it's just, in my mind, our government is so crooked and corrupt that it's to the point where nobody is interested in pretending anymore that it's not. We're not interested in pretending that it's going to get better. And I'm really curious to see how this next midterm is going to work out, because one of the reasons why they say they're going into Venezuela is because Venezuela rigged the elections, that their election machines, I don't know exactly what the official story is, but I think it has something to do with China and going into Venezuela and setting up some type of rigged election machine. I don't know exactly how it works, but I don't think we have to worry about Venezuela rigging the election this time. I think this is probably going to be the most rigged election in history, on both sides. We might as well not even vote this time, as far as I'm concerned. They're killing people. They're killing people to get their way. Our vote's not going to count this time. I'm not saying don't vote. It's just an interesting time to be alive. But, we've seen this before. Well, some of us haven't. We weren't around for JFK, but let's see here. What do we got? Hold on one sec. Yesterday, Trump, I wish they would just leave marijuana alone, to tell you the truth. I mean, I do love the fact that it's legal now. There's certain aspects of it, like the fact that you can't go to jail for having weed on you is amazing. One of the reasons that the first time that I ever got arrested was because of marijuana, and I was only 23 years old and minding my own business. And boy, you want to talk about fucking just fucking pissing me off. I don't even know how to describe it. I grew up on marijuana. My parents always smoked marijuana, and oh man, I was not happy when that happened. I'll tell you what. I only had to stay in jail for like an hour, but it was a small little town, and the rules were if you get caught, even with like a tiny piece of marijuana, you have to do a minimum mandatory 24 hours in jail. And instead of doing 24 hours in jail, the judge was nice enough to let me do 24 hours in a detox center because he found a little piece of weed on me. The motherfuckers running me through the system at 23 years old. Fucking bastards. I still don't get what happened to this kid, Robinson. I mean, there's so much being said. I'm lost there. Well, that's the point, Deb, is for us to be lost. And if you watch the Baron Coleman video from yesterday and you look at what they're talking about, basically is exactly what, touching on what you just said. They created so many distractions. They have at least 8 or 9 people that they can pinpoint that are making distractions when Charlie Kirk's about to get assassinated. I mean, this is a highly orchestrated, lots of people involved in this. A lot of people involved in this. So Tyler Robinson, it's hard to say. As far as Candace goes, she says she can't understand for the life of her why people are saying like Megyn Kelly came out and said, I want Tyler Robinson dead. I'll be happy when it happens. And she's claiming that the evidence is overwhelming. And Candace is like, what fucking evidence? There is no evidence that shows that Tyler Robinson did or did not do it. There just is no evidence at all. And, you know, Candace will say that, well, she believes that, you know, he could be involved for sure. He's involved. Doesn't mean that he shot Charlie. Doesn't mean anybody shot Charlie. You know, we don't know what happened. But we're getting what's called Fed slop. You know, the federal government right now is an absolute embarrassment. They're an absolute it's beyond repair at this point, I think. I don't know how they're going to do damage control. Dan Bongino quit. Kash Patel is an absolute clown and a traitor to the United States, which is exactly why, in my opinion, we should not have foreigners in our government. We should not have, you know, people whose families immigrated here. I'm not talking about that. We've all are descendants of immigrants. I'm talking about people that can't even fucking speak English properly. People that, I mean, especially from fucking India, man. You just have to look at the history of these people from India in our government. It's not a good idea. Why we decided to start putting fucking Muslims and Indians and Somalians in our government? Like, what are we thinking? This is what we get. I've been watching. Right on, Deb. I appreciate it. They must have something else on Tyler Robinson. Here's what I think. And somebody made a point to this. So they have George Zinn. Okay. Remember Decoy Boy? George Zinn is the old man whose pants fell down right when Tyler Robinson when Charlie Kirk got shot. And he starts saying, I did it. You know? And so he gets arrested. And then they let him go because he didn't do it. And then we come to find out that George Zinn was at 9/11. Like, this guy find out he's like some political activist allegedly, and he's at all these major events just coincidentally. Like the dude who was shot at Bondi Beach in Australia. Just so happens he was at October 7th. Just so happens he happens to be an Israeli anti-Semitic lawyer guy. I mean, the world is a stage. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Wish I had a rewind button on me. I don't know why I do that. My mind just goes because I get sidetracked talking about the Bondi Beach thing, and I know I was talking about Charlie Kirk. It'll come back to me in a second. There's just so many distractions. This is part of the video from yesterday. I'm not going to play the volume because the volume is absolutely annoying for this one. But so basically what these guys are saying happened is, so you have, and it's just going to be too hard. You have to watch Baron Coleman. I'm not going to try to explain what happened, but these are the two audio guys and video guys right here. They have a problem with their audio, and then all hell breaks loose. This whole plan is about to fall apart, and they're able to course correct and pull off the assassination within a short amount of time, but not before they expose a lot of what's happening. Sorry, got the volume. You got the three people here. You've got Brian Harple at the bottom in the blue shirt, and he's the guy that is got a device in his pocket that you have the guy in the black shirt. I can't remember his name. It's Frank Turret in the white. I can't remember the name of the guy. Can't remember his name. Right now, he's holding a shirt. He is looking over at the audio video guys. There's a problem with the audio video, and it's because of something that Brian Harple here in the blue shirt did with the device in his pocket. So he's going to have to, the guy in the black shirt is going to have to get the attention of Brian Harple down here and tell him, hey, there's a fucking problem. We need to address it before we can do this. He says, hey, Brian. Now, Brian is turning around. You could hear him. You see him point. So there's a problem with the audio, and then there he goes to his pocket right here. There's the device. Now, again, there's no conclusive evidence here about what I'm talking about. They do an amazing job of breaking down this whole sequence of events. And it is just, and unfortunately, if we're ever going to get to the bottom of what really happened, we need people to take time out of their day, even though they have careers and jobs, and do the work. Because the people that we pay to do this are not doing it. They're involved in it. So we have to be the ones. Even this photographer, she's a distraction. They do a really good job of breaking down what's going on with, and not to mention that. So now you have all this video evidence, right? And then you have Brian Harple here, who they're showing. He was on Sean Ryan, and he gave a very detailed interview. And that was a big mistake. These guys should have just shut up, man. They should have just gag ordered themselves because they told on themselves. And it's just going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out. Very, very interesting. The guy with the pants down. Oh, now I remember. Thank you, Deb. Now you reminded me of what I was talking about. My theory about Tyler Robinson. What about the Brown University and MIT connection? It's all connected. It's all to push the narrative that Muslims are bad, and the solution is, go to war on the streets of America. So they can have it. If it was up to Israel, they would literally bomb Dearborn, Michigan. They would do to certain cities where Muslims are in the United States that they do to Gaza. That's what those people do. They go to war. They've been at war. And it's because they're weapons manufacturers and they're in the business of war. They don't care who they kill. They just want to fucking sell their weapons and use their weapons on everybody. So the guy with the pants down, he is in jail right now. They let him go because they determined he had nothing to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, right? Well, now he's in jail for child P. Okay. And then somebody made a comment about Tyler Robinson and the same accusation. And it got me thinking, this is what it is. And I have a little bit more of why I think this, but I can't right off the top of my head remember the source. George Zinn, Tyler Robinson, and probably people like Blake Neff, who's the bald guy from TPUSA, who, if you could imagine what somebody who is into child, video or photographic material would look like, to me personally, they would look like Blake Neff. That's just my opinion. So you take George Zinn, who's already in jail for child P on his computer, right? Now, if you know anything about the Las Vegas shooting, where the dude allegedly from the Mandalay Bay window killed 58 people and wounded 660 people. Okay, that's the official story. Remember the mass shooting in Vegas? Well, guess what? That guy's brother is in jail for child P. Okay? Now, bear with me, because I'll tie it all together. There's no way in hell one person is wounding 660 people and killing 58 people from that window. I'm sorry, it ain't happening. I don't give a fuck what type of training you got. It's just something else is afoot there. But we'll never know. The brother is in jail for child P. George Zinn in jail for child P. This is what it is, guys. This is how they get those patsies. They busted a ring of people. There was probably a group of people on the dark web highly engaged in inappropriate child activities, trading material, whatever they were doing. And they got busted. George Zinn, Tyler Robinson. George Zinn probably got busted in a ring a long time ago if he was at 9/11, right? He's an old guy. Tyler Robinson probably got busted in a new ring. And Blake Neff, possibly too. Because Turning Point USA, what is this? Fucking Amway? Turning Point USA is the most fake organization of all time. They bust these guys ahead of time on to catch a predator style tactics, and then they blackmail them and say, do you want to go to jail for sexually assaulting a 8-year-old? Because you know what's going to happen to you when you go to jail, right? You already know what time it is, especially when we put it on your paperwork. Or you can go to jail for murder. It's up to you. Either way, you're going to jail. But how do you want to go to jail? Because anybody that knows anything about prison, your paperwork means everything, especially with that shit. I mean, it's the difference between, your life is completely different. Jail can be halfway pleasant, like tolerable, or it can be fucking hell. So that's just my theory. And you watch the Baron Coleman thing, they kind of touch on that whole thing. That's what kind of got me thinking about that. That's how they do it. That's how they get these people to sit there in court. That fucking weird ass fucking, think of it in that context with that Tyler Robinson guy. If you've seen him sitting there in court, could you imagine him looking at kids? I could, 100%. In fact, I could imagine him looking at kids more than I could have been an assassin and getting up on a roof and planning all this stuff out and perfect shot. You know what I mean? He don't look like he has the mental capacity to pull something like that off. There's a lot of stress involved in that. So you just got to be like a complete deranged lunatic where you're just detached from reality, because any normal human being that's going to go up on a rooftop in front of 3,000 people with a long rifle and kill somebody. It doesn't matter if you were hell bent on killing that person or not. There's going to be a lot of adrenaline. It's a hard shot to make. You're not going to be thinking straight. I don't know. It's got to be down one of those roads. You know what I mean? It's got to be down one of those roads. It's just not what they're telling us. It's just not, Anyway, I only have a couple videos. Trump reclassifies marijuana to Schedule 3, I think. And then you just looked at these people standing around him, and I just see nothing but Dr. Fauci's. And I know that this is not a good thing. You can never really understand the creepiness and the sinisterness of their motives. They don't surface for a while sometimes, unless we just have a whistleblower that kind of breaks it down for us. So I have no idea why my spidey senses don't like this, because in all reality, I should, right? I'm a weed smoker.
I'll add my vote of thanks, Mr. President. I never really thought this day would come. I met a patient about 20 years ago, a retired professor named Elizabeth, who came. She was dying of pancreatic cancer, and she asked me then whether cannabis might help her. And I said no, because that's what I learned in medical school. She reached into her briefcase, took out a 3-inch tall stack of articles, put them down on my desk, and said, really, doctor? You should read these. You might learn something. And I did read those articles, every single one, and found a bunch more. And I did learn something. I learned that there actually is some medical benefit to cannabis that I had not anticipated, never heard about in medical school. Second, I learned that there's a lot we don't know. And third, I learned it's really, really, really difficult to do high quality randomized controlled trials of a substance that's federally illegal. This rescheduling has the potential to change all of that and to rewrite the way that we do research related to cannabis in the United States in three ways. First of all, it'll democratize the research process so that all academic institutions can participate in research, not just elite academic medical centers. Number two, it'll give patients and researchers access to highly refined, reliable sources of cannabis rather than relying on one or two sources around the country. And last but not least, it'll let us do the sorts of large-scale randomized controlled trials that we do in oncology and cardiology, not dozens of patients, but hundreds or thousands of patients. That's how we learn. That's how we produce valuable knowledge that's useful in guiding treatment decisions. Mr. President, without you, this never would have been possible. And my patients and I and all of our families are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Very much.
Thank you.
I can tell you as a lifelong weed smoker, there's nothing of value in that. There's nothing but just hidden agendas and fuckery and bullshit. There's nothing of value in there whatsoever. The one thing that really kind of have to go back and rewind it real quick.
Two sources around the country. And last but not least, it'll let us do the sorts of large-scale randomized controlled trials that we do in oncology and medical centers. Number two, it'll give patients and researchers access to highly refined, reliable sources of cannabis rather than relying on one or two sources around the country. And last but not least,
it'll give patients access to highly refined sorry guys.
Relying on one or two sources around the country. And last but number two, it'll give patients and researchers access to highly refined, reliable sources of cannabis rather than
highly refined sources of cannabis rather than one or two sources around the country. Well, marijuana is grown. It's all state laws right now. Each state that has legal marijuana literally has at least 100 different sources of marijuana, all these different companies. So that alone right there that's how they do us. They'll just straight fucking lie straight to your face. I think basically what they're telling us they're just straight up lying. They're saying rather than, getting it from one or two places around the country, that's so not true. The growing facilities are fucking everywhere. But once they do this, now it's going to be the opposite of what he just said. We will be getting our marijuana from one or two places like Walmart or that's what I see. So, and they've really ruined marijuana over the last 10 years, 20 years, genetically modified it. They don't even a lot of these companies don't even grow it from a plant anymore. They grow it on yeast. It's like making bread, and they extract the THC crystals from the yeast, from the bread. It's really weird. And they do it because it's a lot faster, but it's just genetically modified. It doesn't have the same medicinal properties that that marijuana once did. I just know that to be true. So anyway, when you have people that are standing around in fucking fake doctor suits telling fake stories and fucking red hat guys and black hat guys in the back, their little strings, what the fuck does a Shriner have to do with the fucking marijuana? Telling fake stories from patients from 20 fucking years ago. None of these people have any fucking clue about marijuana, nor would I want them to have anything to do with my marijuana. It's just, we're so sick and tired of this bullshit. We really are. What about the speculation that can help some people with mental illness instead of cramming pills down their throats? Yeah. Well, what they've done, and you're 100% right, and we know why, because they got to sell their pills. And they've genetically modified weed so much that at least here in Washington State, if you just wanted to smoke some weed and you didn't know what you were doing, you walk into the weed store, the spectrum of the quality and what's the chemicals that are in that weed in that store is amazing. There's only like when I go to the weed store, there's only like 1 or 2 or 3 companies that I buy from. And even with those guys, I truly don't know exactly what I'm getting. But a lot of those companies my God, the stores have been open for a long time now. So, I learned my lesson a long, long time ago, but naive Jason was so happy when those stores first opened up. And then, very quickly realized like, well, shit, man, this stuff is fucking garbage. Not only is it not good quality, it's dangerous. It doesn't make you feel right. It hurts your throat. There's all kinds of, it might as well be fucking cigarettes, all kinds of weird shit in there. And it makes you feel weird too. You got to be careful because you smoke the wrong weed from the weed store here in Washington, you end up fucking wanting to fucking hurt yourself. I'm not kidding. It's bad. It's bad. I don't recommend smoking weed, guys. I mean, and I hate saying that because I used to say that, it was such a great thing, but it's been so fucking deep stated now that marijuana, it's not what it once was. It's different. It's like cutting into these strawberries now and they're all fucking white and they don't taste like strawberries half the time. I can't tell you how many times people say that to me. It's so bad now that they ask me like, are the strawberries white? Because it's just certain times when they look more like a radish than they do a strawberry. It's hard, it's very weird times we live in, guys. Here is, what was this guy's name? I can't remember. This is the guy with the bloody face that got shot at Bondi Beach and had you see him getting his face painted. We don't know what's going on with this guy, but he claims that not only did he get shot at Bondi Beach, he was at October 7th in Israel, and he came to Australia to help fight anti-Semitism, and lo and behold, he just happens to get shot in the head by an anti-Semitic gunman on the first day of Hanukkah. And here is him explaining what happened now with the little Band-Aid on his head.
Bullet had grazed my head to the bone. It was millimeters from life and death. There is no shortage of measures that can be introduced. I know that the Prime Minister has had for some months now a report from the Special Envoy on Anti-Semitism, Gillian Siegel. That report has been on the Prime Minister's office desk for months and months. I think there needs to be questions asked why the proposals were not actioned.
So you have a situation in Australia where they took away everybody's guns. You have to fill out all kinds of paperwork and to prove why you need a gun. You can't own a gun for self-defense in Australia. You can only own a gun for hunting, target practice. That's it. And so, or if you need it for like security or law enforcement or something like that. So normal citizens can't just have guns. So then you have, a false flag. This is obviously a false flag operation. And the government is setting up their people where this is why it's so important for us to keep our guns, because we could, here in the United States, the story is that the Australian police didn't return fire. There was like 20 minutes of these guys fucking just indiscriminately shooting before they were taken out because none of the citizens can do it. It's illegal to defend yourself with a gun. It's absolute chaos. And you just have to look no further than the Philippines and see what happened over there when that guy took power. I can't remember his name. The one that flipped Obama off. When he took power, he says you have 12 days to turn your guns in. And no problems. He goes, on day 13, we will kill you if we find you with the gun. And that's what he did. he started going. He executed everybody that had a gun, and now to this day, in the Philippines, why so many people are leaving besides the weather. I talked to one Filipino guy. He says that the cops can just put drugs on you, and then they'll just shoot you in the head. I mean, that's how it is in the Philippines right now, because you get the death penalty for drugs. You can't have a gun, and so the cops are just in this. You're just treated like fodder. It's bad. More and more people are carrying in Florida. Yeah, I mean, even me, I got my concealed weapons permit, and I'm not a gun guy. I still haven't bought a gun yet, but I'm on the ready. I have everything, all my ducks in a row to get one. You notice it here because of the light clothing. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people in Washington have guns too. And, I don't know if it's any more than any other state. I'm sure like Wyoming and Kansas, and, they don't have a big population, but I would imagine those places probably have the most guns per capita. Places like that. But yeah, I totally get it, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. You got so many people holding guns, because there's a lot of people that should not have guns that do, but it is what it is, All right. So Turning Point USA had a big rally. And we'll start with Erica Kirk.
54% are female attendees. Okay. We have 40 breakout sessions, 178 sponsors, all 50 states represented. We have 25 countries represented plus Puerto Rico, but I have the list here. Don't worry, guys. Egypt is not on the list. Don't worry about that. But, oh, how funny. I say Egypt and my iPad turns on. That's fun. Where were we?
Yes, it's so fun, Erica. Ben Shapiro.
And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. Yes, cowardice. The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense into the public square for years is just as cowardly.
What a little, excuse my language, this guy is such a pussy. He really is. He just is such a little muppet. And, he is one of the people that is just so good at, we give him no credibility, but he's just so good at gaslighting and starting, little rants about nothing. Cowardice. They are cowardice. Well, Tucker Carlson fucking does him in right here. Where's it at? Because Tucker was there.
I just got here and I feel like I missed the first part of the program. Hope I didn't miss anything meaningful. But I just want to say, I don't think I did. No, I'm just kidding. I watched it. I laughed. That kind of bitter, sardonic laugh that emerges from you when like Upside Down World arrives. When your dog starts doing your taxes and you're like, wait, it's not supposed to work this way. To hear calls for like deplatforming and denouncing people at a Charlie Kirk event, I'm like, what? This is hilarious. Yeah, this is hilarious. Actually, one of the clips I was listening to myself
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Hold on.
Just never, because I never watch myself, but at these events, they always play like the role of you. And I'm like, that guy is pompous. Woo! Sorry about that. We don't see ourselves clearly. But the prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, it's a noun, don't steal my nouns, deplatform and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole Red Guard cultural revolution thing that we so hated and feared on the left, that we did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's public life. And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot about it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted in part to arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here, which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer, and was immediately put under just immense pressure from people who give money to Turning Point, I would assume good people, but who wanted him to take me off the roster. And this has all become public, and the whole thing is so sad that I never talk about it, except to say Charlie stood firm in his often stated and deeply held belief that people should be able to debate, and that if you have something valid to say, if you're telling the truth, you ought to be able to explain it calmly and in detail to people who don't agree with you, and that you shouldn't immediately resort to shut up racist. You shouldn't immediately go to motive. By the way, shut up racist is the #1 reason I voted for Donald Trump. And because I'm just sick of it. I mean, first of all, if I was a racist, if I was a bigot, I would just say so. Okay, it's America. You're allowed to be whatever kind of person you want. I'm not. I'm sincerely opposed, have always been, and will always be. But the style of debate where you prevent the other side from talking or being heard because you immediately go to motive, well, I wonder why you're asking that question. I wonder why. Why are you asking that question? I detect in the question a certain evil in your soul. And everyone listening should know that listening to you implicates them, and that they someday may be asked to denounce you. And that friendship is not a reason to defend someone. Love is no defense. I kind of thought we'd reached the end of that. And as far as I'm concerned, we have. And I'm not going to play by those rules. I'm not going to engage in that. If someone doesn't like what I think, fine with me, as long as I get to express it. That's my view.
Good morning, CG2. I tried to pause that video a long time ago. It wouldn't let me. It was kind of froze. It does that sometimes, so I just let it play out. I don't know when Turning Point USA tried to become so evangelical, too. It's like they're just now trying to become the new and evangelical, religious, weird movement. And they're not Christian. They're like these Zionist people. It's very strange. I consider Turning Point USA the Amway of the political movement. I don't know how to describe it. It's very strange. I hold no stock in that business whatsoever. I wish they would just go away. Turning Point. It's always just going to forever remind me that those are the people that killed Charlie Kirk. So I don't understand why they want to continue the business. So we watched Erica Kirk say that, all 50 states are involved in this, and people, and then she goes, and Egypt's not on the list. And then she says her iPad turned on. Well, then she claims that her speech was wiped, which is very interesting.
It's really interesting.
Quit using my words, Erica.
The enemy has thrown a lot of curveballs at us today and this week and the past 3 months. And one of them is the fact that my entire speech has been wiped because my iPad won't even turn on. So that's a fun technical difficulty that we can figure out.
It's always about the enemy with these people too. You know, they always have enemies. They're just warmongers. You know, her parents are weapon manufacturers. So this is what they do. It's always about the enemy. You know, they're trying to pretend that it's a spiritual thing. You know, oh, the enemy is the evil and, you know, the enemy is Satan and enemy is this. No, they're always using these words because it's their psychological tactics to perpetuate war to get governments to buy their weapons. You know, that's what the DuPont family is all about.
So we're just going to wing it. We're just going to wing it. I was going to share with you stats. I was going to share with you.
She is never more happy and gleeful than when she's talking about numbers. If you notice that with her, like her, you want to see the biggest, most genuine Erica, the biggest smile on Erica Kirk's face is when she's talking about numbers, money and numbers. You know, how many donors are here? How many states are involved? How many people showed up to the event? It's always about numbers with her. She's so much more relaxed and has a genuine smile on her face when she's talking about numbers than any time she ever mentions her alleged husband.
All of the things that we have going on building. So I'm going to just start it off with this. So last year, Charlie, I'll rewind. AmFest is Charlie's Super Bowl. Thank you. These are the stats. I got the stats, no speech. So again, we're going to wing it. So AmFest last year, Charlie reminded me that this was his Super Bowl. And for those of you who are sitting in the back, my husband was very intentional about making sure he was in the back because he wanted to sit in what he considered maybe the worst seat in the arena. And he made it a point to listen to the whole intro video, every speaker video, and he would tell the team, louder, more bass, more noise. He would say, there's a treble and a bass knob, turn the ones to make it right. So even if you feel like you're in the worst seat in the house, you're not, because Charlie's sitting one of those. So you're in good company up there. But what's also very interesting is that when Charlie first and the team first came up with, since I don't have a speech, I might as well just walk around. When Charlie first came up with AmFest, he thought to himself, who would not love to celebrate America? So we're going to name it AmFest. And that's what he did. And I'll never forget, last year, we were blessed to have President Trump come and speak. And afterwards, Charlie turns to me.
James, good morning, sir. Good to see you. You know, she's just such a strange broad.
Starts running. Like, where are you going? He's like,
just such a strange broad. But it is interesting that she said the word Egypt, her iPad turns on, and then her speech is deleted. So, why was her speech deleted? Who really is Erica Kirk? It is very, very interesting. Did she really love her husband and does she really want to find out who killed him? And she's in a really, really dangerous, difficult position. I mean, obviously, if, you know, your spouse was killed, was assassinated, I mean, obviously you could not just like come out and just, you know, spill the beans, because it can probably happen to you too. You know, I mean, that would be a very difficult situation to be in. It's just very interesting. I don't believe that part at all, but You know, the question is that why did they want him dead? What specifically? Those are all the videos I have, guys. Let me see if there's anything. It's gonna be a short little show today. I do got a lot to do still. So Blake, this is the guy that was on Baron Coleman last night. Oh yeah, this is another thing too that Candace talks about. Yesterday, she talked about she got to see some never seen photos of inside the SUV that they put Charlie in, and there was little glass shards, little pieces of plastic all over the floor. And then this guy, you know, he watched the video so many times, you can see the black plastic. Something exploded under his shirt, and it sent debris all over. And now the theory is one of the reasons why they paved over that crime scene so fast is because it's the only way to get rid of all of there's no way they could pick up all those little pieces of plastic from the explosion. So you got to go back and watch Candace if you want to know about that. I do kind of want to watch this. I've never seen this video, so. Yeah, I don't want to watch. Don't want to watch him get shot. What do we got here? Did we just film the fatal bullet that took out Charlie Kirk's insane single-frame streak whizzes past Fiji bottle? Hard to say. This was a great interview that Candace had on her show yesterday with this guy who claims that he's seen Brian Harple at a meeting at a high level somewhere in Arizona the day before the assassination. Very interesting interview.
What I started seeing come across.
What do we have here? What? U.S. Army Sergeant Andrew Dykes brought to Long Island court, about to be charged in murder of Tanya Peaches Jackson, formerly thought to be a victim of serial killer. Huh.
The media just ran with it blindly. But instead, my father delivered a speech laying out his record year of his second term. I mean, the ultimate Trump rope-a-dope. They think he's going to do a State of the Union type address to the nation announcing yet another endless ground war. And instead, he just talks about the successes that they refuse to talk about. We'll get into all. Now, yesterday.
Which is true. I told ALV that, oh, there's ALV right there. I told ALV, that's perfect timing, that Trump was going to go on and announce that we're going to war with Venezuela, and he did nothing of the sort. So, yep, I'll admit it. I got rope-a-doped or whatever. Good for you there, Mr. Trump Jr. Good one. Touche. How are you this morning, ALV? We had a late start. Yes, too happy. How could she be happy and joking? 100%. It is the weirdest thing. You know, your spouse is dead. You're a single mom. Where are your kids? And you're just out just laughing, and you laugh at the weirdest times. You know, even some of the things she says is like when she talked about, oh, well, you might be in the worst seat in the house. Who says that? What type of spoiled rich kid statement is that? You know, don't worry. You might be sitting in the worst seat in the house right now, but Charlie sat there too. You know, you might be a broke fuck, but don't you worry. You might be in the welfare seats back there, but Charlie sat back there out of pity for you. You know, so don't feel bad. Whatever she was saying. Well, let's see. Anything else? I mean, why do we have to have the pyrotechnics? I don't get it. You know, is she she's really that special? A 31-year-old bear. It says but almost he almost always gets up from his winter bed and goes for a walk. 31-year-old bear. Yeah, I thought bears hibernate. Poor bear. I get it. You know, in our old age, like the refrigerator is like one of the most important things in the house. So he's like, you know what? Fuck this hibernation shit. He's like, I'm hungry now. I don't have the energy to be out there. It's a young man's game, as ALV would say, out there fucking hunting for fish and berries and shit with everybody else and fighting. Like, I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna get up early and just go find me some fucking crumbs and shit out here. The brown shooter, no, I did not. And I heard that I don't know anything about the brown shooter. I've been fully invested in Candace, so I don't have any. I don't even know what happened at the brown shooting. See what this says. This is how you kick off a news conference at the Department of Health and Human Services.
Men are men. Men can never become women. Women are women. Women can never become men. Children are innocent and they need our protection.
Don't really have any context to that. But yeah. And again, these aren't my bookmark videos. My prediction was we have boots on the ground by tonight and the world knows by midday tomorrow. Okay, someone else is trying to predict Venezuela. So the Brown shooting sounds like a con job. Suddenly they find some guy dead in a strange unit and he's the shooter. Yes. Yeah, I did hear something about that. Let me see here. What are the details behind the guy they found dead that they're saying was the Brown shooter? Let's ask ChatGPT what they've got for us this morning. "48-year-old Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, a Portuguese national. He attended Brown University as a physics graduate student in 2000-2001, but withdrew decades ago and had no current affiliation with the school. He later came to the U.S. on a student visa and obtained legal permanent residency in 2017. They linked him to 2 violent incidents on December 25th, Brown University mass shooting, or in December of 2025, I mean. December 13th, a shooter opened fire in the Barris and Hawley Engineering and Physics building. 2 students were killed, Ella Cook and Muhammad Aziz Marzakazov, and 9 others wounded. Killing of an MIT professor 2 days later. MIT physics professor Nuo F.G. Lorariro was shot in his home and later died. Officials say Valente and Lorino likely knew each other from studying physics in Portugal in the late 1990s. Investigators believe the same man was responsible for both attacks. How his body was found after a multi-day manhunt across several states. He was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside a storage unit in Salem, New Hampshire. Police found his body along with 2 firearms and a bag. No clear motive. They believe he acted alone. And that's it. So, yeah. You know, and then if he had a living relative that would be able to give us some insight, they're going to find child, you know what, on that guy's computer, and he'll be in jail. Because that's how they do those people. So it does sound fishy, but again, I did not do any. I have no context to even speak on. I have nothing to say because I don't even know what happened. I didn't, you know, like I've been fully invested in the Candace thing. That's all I really care about is finding out. And it looks like we're finding out that it's just, I mean, the amount of people that are involved in this, it's just, they are literally going to have to start a war. That's why I know that something bad's going to happen. They're going to have to. How are they going to get out of this? If the world just goes on normal and the economy gets good and people are comfortable, it's not going to be good. So they're going to have to fuck us up to get us to quit asking questions about Charlie Kirk. They're going to have to. They have to do something big. Just my opinion. I hope not, but how many people did he take out in Vegas? I don't remember. 660 people wounded and 58 people dead. Let me ask ChatGPT because I may be wrong on that. How many people did the Vegas shooter kill and wound from the Mandalay Bay Hotel? In 2017, he fired from his room in the Mandalay Bay Hotel. 60 people were killed. Initially, 58 victims died at the scene and shortly after in hospitals. 2 additional victims later died from complications of their injuries. 1 in 2019, so that was 2 years later, and 1 in 2020. The shooter, Stephen Paddock, also died by killing himself. Approximately 867 people were injured in the attack. Of those, at least 413 were wounded directly by gunfire or shrapnel. Many others were hurt in the ensuing chaos while trying to escape. It is the deadliest mass shooting by a lone gunman in U.S. history. Now, if you go down that rabbit hole, what it was an attempted assassination on, I believe, a prince is what that really was. And they missed. They didn't get him. So that is just a terrifying scenario to think about. But does anybody believe that one gunman from a window is going to shoot that many people? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, how is that even possible? I mean, you got to be saying that one bullet is going through, 20 people's legs or something, or what? How do you get 413 people directly hit by gunfire? Think about that. Even if you are in the window and it's a concert, are you going to be able to hit that many people before they all scramble? I don't understand. Something's not making sense. I mean, there's got to be some fucking reloading and I don't. So are you saying that he fired 413 bullets from his guns? Let's see what it says. Some victims were hit multiple times. A single bullet can injure more than one person. Investigators estimate well over 1,000 rounds were fired. 1,100 to 1,200 rounds is the official estimate. He used multiple rifles fired in bursts. Some rounds were not recovered. Some fragmented and ricocheted. Fuck. And then there was another shooting involving some of those people. Wasn't there another shooting involved some of the survivors in San Diego? Many people from San Diego and Southern California were at the Las Vegas Route 91 Harvest Festival in 2017. And some were wounded or killed there. Several San Diegans were injured. This doesn't talk about it. There was another shooting, I think, where like 13 people were killed in a bar in San Diego, and at least one of the survivors was there. So that whole thing. And then let me ask them this. Did the Las Vegas shooter's brother end up in jail? Yep. He went to jail, but he's not suspected of being involved. In October 2017, Bruce Paddock was arrested in LA on suspicion of possessing child P and related sexual exploitation charges. Okay. So it just goes back to my theory, because that's how they get these patsies to operate. They bust them with child P. So they probably busted both of those guys, him and his brother. And then they tell him, you're either going to jail for murder or you can go to jail for child P. It's up to you. You're going to go to jail one way or the other because you're already busted. So it's up to you. Do you want to go to jail for that charge? And because you already know what time it is when you get there, or you can go to jail as a mass murderer and just be like known as a fucking legend in prison. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. 60 people were killed and 430 were wounded by gunfire in Vegas. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's a crazy amount of people. And actually, it was 800 were wounded. 400 were wounded directly by gunfire. But it was actually 867 people were injured in the attack overall. So almost he injured almost 1,000 people. Fucking crazy, man. Why did these shootings never happen prior to the late 90s? More people had guns back then, and none of this insanity. Ever wonder why? Yeah, false flags. You know, this isn't. I don't think that any of these are. You know, none of these are like. You know, they're not. None of them are real. You know, even like. You know, we could go over the list of terrorist attacks that happened on the week between April 15th and April 20th. It's absolutely insane, you know. And then they predict all that shit in The Simpsons. So, you know, what are we really doing here, you know? Like April 15th to April 20th, you have the Columbine shooting, the Boston Marathon bombing. Waco, Texas ended on April 19th. The Oklahoma City bombing, Deepwater Horizon. The list goes on. There's so many events that happened right around April 20th. I don't know why that date's so important. That's the date of marijuana, Hitler's birthday. There's like all these weird things surrounded by. Here, let me see if I have checked. Can you give me a list of terrorist attacks that happened within the last 20 years within the week between April 15th and April 20th? Boston Marathon bombing was April 15th. The mass-stung bus bombing, April 15th in Pakistan. That was this year. French prison attacks. Yeah, this list sucks. Never mind. But yeah, you can look all those up. They're all right within each other. So, see, it's the weed, don't smoke it. Well, the theory is that yeah, it's dumb. It is the dumbification of America. You know, there's a lot of people that should not be smoking weed. But you know, Joe Rogan said it best. Like, if you are a lazy person, you're just going to be lazy, no whether you fucking smoke weed or not. You know, weed doesn't make you lazy. You make you lazy. Columbine, yeah. Ruby Ridge, I didn't know about that one. When was Ruby Ridge? When was Ruby Ridge? That was August. Northern Idaho. But yeah, that was definitely a weird one too, for sure. Columbine was April 20th. Yeah, there. You know, it's just hard to believe anything. But you know, for me, and I keep saying it, the line in the sand is the Charlie Kirk assassination. It's obvious. Obviously, it's the most obvious. They fucked up so bad, and it's all they all gave interviews. Everything that they said is on record. There's video evidence, and this is going to go down as I don't know what, man. These people need to be hung. You know, there's people that need to be executed for this. And Megyn Kelly said it herself. You know, she's on there like a raging lunatic. I want him dead. I will be gleeful when it happens. Talking about Tyler Robinson. Okay, Megan. Well, you also said that everybody else is involved in it. Well, we're getting ready to prove that there's a lot of people involved in this. So they're all going to get executed, right? That's my take on it. If you're involved in this assassination, you're giving hand signals and doing that, man, they should just hang everybody in public. That's just my opinion. Or the firing squad, something. We can't have this. When was that horror when that evil scumbag killed all those little kids in Connecticut? Oh, that was not around that date, but that was a complete false flag as well. When was Sandy Hook? Sandy Hook, in my opinion, ALV, and I spent a lot of time on that one because I've been doing this for a long time, well before Sandy Hook. December 14th, 2012. 26 victims, 20 children, 6 adults. Shooter Adam Lanza, who also killed his mother earlier in the morning than himself. One of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history, and led to major national debates on gun laws, school security, and mental health. That was such a scam. I mean, boy, they got us good on that one. But that one, let me see if I can find Robbie Parker. Not Sandy Hook. Okay. So this is one of many, many reasons why I can tell you for 100% that this is bullshit story. This is Sandy Hook the day after it happened. So this is December 15th, 2012, 5:22 p.m. So we're looking at probably 30 hours removed from when Robbie Parker, who's about to talk, his little girl had her brains blown out in the classroom. Okay, 30 hours ago. I'm a father of a daughter and a granddaughter. Okay, so.
And they're getting ready to to come to the microphone, so we'll listen in.
Okay, let's start this over. He's getting into character. Watch him get into character before he talks.
Statement, looks like the family is there, and they're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen in.
Okay.
So my name's Robbie Parker. My
statement, looks like the family is.
They cut it off there. Fuck. Hold on. See if I can find a longer video.
I assume he's going to come out to the microphones now and make a statement. Looks like the family is there, and they're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen in. Okay.
So my name's Robbie Parker. My family is one of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut.
They're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen in.
So, I mean, you got to be, and I'm sorry to offend if anybody believes it, you have to be clinically fucking retarded. You have to be the dumbest motherfucker on planet Earth to believe that guy. I'm sorry. Okay? You don't even have to have a kid to realize what this is, what type of evil this is. And then he goes on to talk about gun control, right? Like anybody in their fucking right mind could talk about gun control when your daughter was just murdered. Your 6-year-old daughter at school at that. These people are fucking evil, man. But you can go down that whole rabbit hole about Sandy Hook. And that school was not even in operation when the shooting happened. And then you have the fact that a 20-year-old little deranged lunatic allegedly is the one that does that, right? He has 100% kill ratio. Every single person he shot died. I mean, look at, how is that possible? You're a fucking master marksman, my guy. You can shoot that many people and kill every single person you shoot. Not one bullet hit somebody and they survived. There was not one survivor from that school. as far as that got shot, right? You had people that allegedly ran out of the school, but there was not one gunshot victim that survived. And the list goes on and on and on. You watch the video of them like zombies walking around that fire station that's right by the school. There's pictures of Obama with that girl, Molly Parker, Robbie Parker's daughter. They live here in Washington State. The last time I checked, they moved to Raymond, Washington years ago. And they were running some type of weird satanic fucking acting school, believe it or not. Dean, dude, good morning. Blue Balls, what's up? Yes, how are you, sir? So, I mean, people can believe what they want. But, I mean, and you know, what's his name? What's the gay CNN guy? Anderson Cooper. He goes on and defends Robbie Parker and says everybody has their own way of grieving. Leave him alone, is what he said. It's like, you know, you got to be fucking kidding me. So you know that, like, you know, our whole adult lives, these people have been fucking lying straight to our faces, pulling this shit. You know, it's not that they just lie and cover up. They orchestrate the shit. Everything is fucking, you know, from start to finish, orchestrated by the fucking federal government. Gay Anderson, yep, you already know. Flamer Anderson. So anybody that has a child knows that this is literally impossible for you to be able to smile like that. Unless you're the one that killed your kid and you wanted to. And even then, I mean, this is literally, you know, it's so hard to watch this.
Okay. My name's Robbie Parker. My family is one of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut.
They haven't slowed down for some reason.
I've been contacted by so many people and agencies wanting to know how we're doing, and I just thought that this might be the best way to share those feelings with everybody. First of all, I'd really like to offer our deepest condolences to all the families who were directly affected by this shooting. It's a horrific tragedy, and we want everybody to know that our hearts and our prayers go out to them. This includes the family of the shooter. I can't imagine.
And remember, we heard this story before. So he is, he's already sends out condolences to the family of the shooter, right? Remember Erica Kirk? Oh, I forgive him. I forgive that young man. You know, it's the same fucking playbook. It's the same fucking playbook. Dean, do you want to come up and talk about, you want to have the bookie minute for a minute? We could skip this too, for all I care. Fucking scumbag. Nothing gets me more worked up than this shit.
How hard this experience must be for you. And I want you to know that our family and our love and our support goes out to you as well. At this time, our thanks go out to so many people, so many friends and family and complete strangers who we don't know, for all the love, condolences, and support that you've given to us. My daughter, Emily, would be one of the first ones to be standing and giving her love and support to all those victims.
Hey, Stephen, good morning.
Because that's the type of person that she is.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Turn that shit off right now. Okay, let's talk sports. Let's talk betting. Let's talk. I'm done with this stupid shit. It's bad enough I had two assholes talking about daycare this week. Okay, please. I'll get into that on my show later, but I can't. I heard enough of this garbage.
Oh, I heard the
Okay.
daycare thing too. I know you're talking about that. We all have
Yeah,
our own.
well, it's nothing negative, but it's just it's just the two guys that are talking about it. Okay, it's like a slap in the face to Dindo, but it's okay. I'll confront that on my show today. But what do you want? So last night,
Yeah.
what?
No, go ahead.
Last night I was sitting here about 6 o'clock, and I said to myself, "It can't get no worse, kiddo." I was fucking bored. I'm like, I don't want to watch nothing. I went to the store. I said to myself, I'm not doing nothing this week. And Dindo, I bet Vito's birthday. I bet my father's birthday. And I bet Enzo's birthday in Quick Draw last night. I came home. I said, you know what, D? This will be so interesting and fun to wake up to in the morning. I put $20 on 20 games. $1 a game.
Okay.
I woke up. Well, I've been up since 4 doing my running around and everything. And I just went in and checked the ticket, Osada. You are a winner.
Nice.
Yay, and the crowd goes roar for the bad guys finally.
Finally get one.
I was so excited, kid. I'm like, I hope this cracks the ocean of ice for me right now. Okay, so obviously, Enzo's, my father's, and Vito's birthday all came out at one time.
Nice.
I bet, here's what I bet, the 5 numbers. Perfect. I bet 1, 8, that covers Vito's 801, and I bet 31, which covers my father's 831. So I had 8, 1, 3, 1, and then I topped it off with Enzo's birthday, 514, for 5 numbers. Woo!
And they all came out?
And they all came out in one game.
That's
So,
sick.
Huh? I'll talk to you offline later, but amazing.
That is awesome. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you. Now I got to buy Scalota-ass breakfast this morning, though. Oh, my God.
Oh yeah, he loves to go to breakfast with you just so he could eat off your plate. The fucking guy.
Well, he eats all my leftovers. He's eating my plate sometimes. He's a total lunatic. Yes, I know. Jeez.
It can't be any different than taking Vito to breakfast, other than maybe a little
Same
extra
thing.
conversation.
I have 2 statues on each side of me staring at me. Yep. Scalota and Vito. Yep, both of them. Two major Is he going to eat that? Are you going to eat that? Yep. Oh.
You know, I didn't watch the game, but Seattle pulled it off last night by 1 point.
Yes.
It went into OT.
It went into OT. Just give me, I want to know one. Here's the biggest thing. What was the final?
38-37, I think, was the final.
That's all you had to say. It went over. That's all. Somebody keyed me in. That was the second horseshoe. They were like, that game's going way over tonight, for your information. I went, what? So, Dindo, I'm dead at that time. I'm not doing nothing. And that game scored 70 points. Look at that, Osada.
Yeah, 75. They scored 15
75.
of it in OT, so it still would have been 60 points with regulation. So it's still way over.
Yeah, right. Jesus.
That's
Now this might, you know what? This might be the weekend for picks. This weekend, who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I mean, let's look at the odds for the Super Bowl now. It's got to change because now Seahawks are a favorite. They're first place in the NFC West.
Well, you know what? You know what we got to do now, right? You got to cash at me 20 apiece, and you got to start picking some teams for tomorrow morning. Huh?
Right.
Huh? We'll put a nice 40, 50, whatever you want to do. We'll put it down, split it down the middle. We'll put in 6, 7 teams this weekend.
Well, I'd be willing to do that. You make the bets because you're the one that's got
Like I said, I'll put it in and send you the picture. That's all. And we could root all weekend. The game starts Saturday anyways.
Well, it's kind of weird. It seems like the Seahawks are now, you can win even more money if you bet on them to win the Super Bowl, which is weird since they just beat LA is still the favorite. These odds might not be right. I'm looking at ChatGPT. I don't think these odds can be right. I think.
Well, you know what, too? You know what that's called? That's called the sucker move, too.
100%.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Seattle's odds are going down. They're hot. Yeah, okay. Come on and bet them. They're just sucking you in. Come on, we'll take your Seattle action. Come on. Okay. No, it is what it is. That's gambling.
Let me see if I can find Pro Football Championship futures. Let's see here.
And you know better than I know. If you're one of them guys that are taking the bets, forget about it. When the home team's playing, you better have something put away. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it looks like for the NFC conference title, the Seahawks and the Rams are tied as a favorite at plus 250. And then you guys, the Bills to win the oh no, that's to win the Super Bowl. Okay, so for the Super Bowl, this is actually an actual sports site. The Bills are plus 800. The Rams are plus 450. Seattle's plus 500 now. Yes, but those are the favorites. Nice. Those are the favorites. Those are the 3 top favorites. It's Buffalo, the Rams, and Seattle.
Seattle. Yep. Those are the 3 corkers right now. Right.
So let's see here.
Well, New England must be a top pick right now.
New England. Let's see here. New England is plus 550 to win the AFC conference.
Wow.
But Buffalo is plus 350, and Denver is plus 325. So Denver's the favorite to win the AFC conference, but Buffalo's right there with them.
Right behind them. Right. Denver, they got a powerhouse. They got a good team, Denver.
And then for the AFC East winner, the Bills are plus 200 and the New England is minus 250. So New England's a heavy favorite to win the AFC.
Heavy favorite. Yeah, sure. Well, that's where Josh Allen's got to pull his head out of his ass this year. That's what he's got to do. He's got to come in right now. This is his time if he's going to do anything. He can't lose another game. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's going to be I think this is going to be a pretty competitive run here, you know.
Yeah, I do too. Listen to me. It's going to be some good football because you don't know what's going to happen right now. These teams are playing hard.
How much money am I giving you?
We'll do 20 apiece.
Okay, I'll Cash App it to you, or how can you, okay. I don't know if I have your Cash App or not. I do. Your Cash App is on your thing, right? Yeah, I have it.
We got time. Don't worry about it.
I did really good yesterday, so I got extra $20.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We might as well. You know what they say? Money makes money, Goomba. Okay, you got to try. You got to be in it to win it.
Well, hold on a sec. You see this comment?
No, hang on. I'm not even looking at the chat.
It's ALV saying betting talk is boring. I'm out of here going to Steaks.
Well, you're only going to a more boring place. What can I tell you?
This guy.
Oh, God.
Tell you. What do you got going on today? Anything?
Well, just hanging out. I'm tired. I was up early doing stuff, and I'm just waiting on Todd Father to see what he's got going, and we'll probably do some running around.
Have you got all your Christmas shopping done?
Just about, yeah.
It's weird because you know, at age 3, she'll be 4 in March. It's like you already have a room in a garage full of toys. It's hard to even kind of run around a little bit, you know. So this year it's like, man, I don't want to buy a shit ton of toys. But then as Christmas gets closer and closer, what am I doing? Buying a shit ton of toys.
Right here. Let me see if I could. Osada here, Osada. If you could see it. Look at my TV room. Are you kidding me? Look at this house. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me just bring you to the part where I change. I got a racetrack. I got a hockey game board on my TV. Nice. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Well, I'm just saying. What are you going to do? This is the way, when you got dogs and babies, it's the way your house is going to look. What could I tell you, Paul? What am I going to do?
You know, I bought a inflatable from Home Depot the other day. It was a Olaf from the movie Frozen. It was half off because it was the demo version. One of the lights doesn't work. I'll replace it. But you know, as a grandparent, you're never going to buy. You would never buy something like that in a million years if you didn't have a reason to. You know what I mean?
I can't believe you just said that. Yesterday, I literally punched myself and kicked myself in the face. Okay, standing there for 10 minutes in front of the Buffalo Bills, you know, stuff. And there was this beautiful blow up raft circle with a buffalo and a snow. It's a snow shot. You know what I mean? A snow slide, you know, but it's a tube and you blow it up. I said, Dindu, I flew. Osada, when I seen the price, okay, when I could get a tire tube from the construction site for nothing, they wanted $35 or $40 for this freaking tube. I said, there's no way in God's name I'm buying this thing. To pull, you know, and put Enzo and me in it, forget about it. I got it. That I fought with myself. So finally I said, no, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. And I walked out of that store. So,
well, you know, it'd probably be cheaper right after the season. Just
and that too, you. And that too. Don't we all know it goes on a half three-quarter sale? You know what I mean? It's like, you got to have it. You know, and now, the best part, you know, now I could go buy the raft. Okay. I get up, there's no snow outside. Everything friggin' melted. Okay.
Right. Yeah. That would just be, you know.
Yeah. So you found every excuse in the world now not to buy it again.
No, it's true. It's like, the things that you're willing to do for the little ones is amazing.
It's amazing. Yes. Yes. I walk out of the store with 3 Hot Wheels every day. Are you kidding me? So,
yeah, I have my stocking. I bought her own stocking too, and I can't fit anything else in it. Like literally, there's not one. It doesn't even look like a stocking because it's bulging out of every little possible. You know what I mean? It's shoved. I got so much stuff shoved in there.
Right. Well, could you imagine when I take out this parking ramp? I got him this parking garage. I'll have no room down here. I'll be stepping on cars.
Oh, he's gonna love that thing.
Oh, he's going to go nuts, yes. And the best part of it is the little ramp jump game I have them now connects to the parking ramp because it's all Hot Wheels.
That's cool.
So, yeah. So off the parking ramp, they could go right into the other track.
That's awesome. He's going to, how many cars does he have?
We never had shit like this, Oh, I think now I got like 8 brand new ones she's got to get. You know, we got about 10 or 15 already. Okay. So
he's going to have a serious collection. Is he going to get all your like collectible stuff, or are you going to leave a lot of that to him? Man, he's going to have a treasure trove.
Could you imagine, Osada? Now, you could appreciate this. Could you imagine, like in 20 years, when he's sitting around with his friend, 25 years? And they take out those AFL pennants. You know, the first thing one of his, you know, if his friends like Todd Father, they're going to say, Maron, was your grandfather on the dinosaur when he got these pennants? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's going to
Those
be like
pennants are from
ancient
1960. They're from 1960.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, in a short amount of time, that stuff's going to be 100 years old. You know,
Yes.
like when we pass away, it's going to be tomorrow. It'll be 100 years old, and
Right.
it's going to be like ancient relics. A lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's going to be fucking highly valuable. That stuff.
I know. And I'm just like boxing stuff for him. You know, like the figures, the major figures. I'm just boxing this stuff for him so that in that day he does whatever he wants with this stuff. So
You're getting more snow. It says. Where's Steven at? Do you know where he is? He over by you?
yeah, Steven's by me. Yep. That's pretty good now. I just couldn't believe it when I woke up. No snow. It looked like it was, you know, starting to come down a little bit because I was out near Steven's place out in that area, and it was snowing a little bit out that way.
Yeah, Todd Father called me last night
Did he?
on his way home. Yeah. I can't remember if he said what the weather was like or not, if he was bitching about the weather. He was bitching about something, but I can't remember if it was the weather or not.
I can't wait. You know how bad I want to call him right now? Are you ready, motherfucking salad ass? Come on. Oh, he'll kill me right now if I call him.
Yeah, he's definitely not a morning person, that guy.
No. I give him the chance to wake up, you know.
Yeah, if I lived over there, days like this, you and me would have already went to breakfast before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could go
Yeah.
like maybe for a second round, go eat coffee while he sits there and
Well,
stares at our plates. You know,
Me and you be going for our second coffee right now. Are you kidding me?
We're going to the casino, buddies, and you go eat breakfast. I mean, it's over there. At the casino.
Oh. Well, that's it. Yeah.
I can only imagine you and me in Vegas during like football or something. This would be
That would have been all over. We would have been probably robbing everything. Me and you. Are you kidding me? Osada, watch out for that. I'll grab that. Go. Oh my God. We're beating each other up.
Yeah, I was in Vegas one time for a huge UFC event.
Yeah.
I had tickets coming out to Yin Yang, and I lost, I think, all of them. I might have won one. I lost all of them. It was Jorge Masvidal against Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru Usman knocked him out. I put so much money on Jorge. I thought for sure he was going to just starch Kamaru. Nope, didn't happen that way. It was a 25-minute love fest.
Yeah. Whenever I found out one thing about betting that UFC, as soon as you bet on the guy, he takes a beating.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, I don't care what it is. I don't know who it is. As soon as you lay money down on them guys, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. Just like when Tyson and Holyfield, when he bit Tyson's ear, and they said I lost the bet.
Shit.
I refused to pay him. Okay, I started a war. My father, called me. Okay, he goes, "You lost." I said, "Not on a disqualification." I couldn't get it through my fucking head. Okay, I lost because he bit his ear. What? A disqualification? See, that was the first time I ever made a bet. And it was a disqualification. I never knew that. What happened? How many times does that happen? Okay, in your career, disqualification. Bet them. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and and it's one thing if it's like somebody's down on one knee and they get a kick,
right?
And then but this is an intentional because of anger. You let your emotions get to you, and
Right.
money's involved in this, and you still fucking do that.
You still bet them, you motherfucker. Yes, that's what I mean.
That's hard pill to swallow right there because
yeah, it is. Well, you got to remember too, you're betting on an animal. He ain't human.
Right.
Well, what do you think that happened for? You think he cared about the general public and the money and that's all he did was care about ripping that guy's ear off. Okay. We proven he went bankrupt. He lost billions, this guy. He didn't care about nobody but taking that guy's ear off that night. That's it. So
what a crazy story Mike Tyson was. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit.
Listen, I admire the guy. He's a street guy. I loved him. I loved him. You know, I don't agree with everything that happened and what, you know, transpired, but what are you going to do? I mean, again, the guy is an animal. You know how hard it is to tame an animal, a human animal. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and you look at his upbringing, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, no, he definitely made a lot of mistakes, but at the same time, he's definitely, man. It's just an amazing story. It really is.
It is.
I mean, custom auto and
the whole time. Well, you got to remember too. That's where it starts with custom auto. Now, here's a guy in the Catskills Mountains. You know why he was there? There's a reason why men are alone. He got away from boxing. He got away from the mob. He got away from the streets. He got away from everything. Cuss had it. Now he opens up his training center. Is the one thing he loved, taking in the kids, fighting, this and that. Well, look who walked into his gym at 13. I'm sorry. Mike Tyson. There you go. There was his, that was his golden goose egg shit right from heaven. Okay. Because he did everything for that kid. Took him in, trained him, taught him, learned him, everything. So the only time Tyson cried is when you mentioned Cuss and the mother. Okay. Because he knew that was the only good he ever knew and had.
You remember the excitement around those fights back in the 80s?
Oh my God. Osada, I couldn't wait for that fight to start. I couldn't wait. The party was ready, everything. No, it didn't matter. No, the fight's tonight. Get the fuck out of here. I'm watching the fight. Yeah. Because you already knew it was going to be a fight.
Yeah. And you know, the Holyfield one, that was later on in the career.
It is correct. Right.
Before he lost to Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, neighborhoods would congregate. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
who had the cheater box? You know, so
yes. Let's have it at your house. You have 30, 40 people in there. Absolutely. Wait. And you got to remember, hang on, I've just lost track. Oh, Tyson's fighting tonight. Fuck that. Think I'm spending. It's going to be a 10-second. But then Tyson's on tonight. Yes. I want to see the way he knocks him out. I love the way he knocks people out. I want to see him kill that guy. You know what I mean? Now you knew you were going to get something with Tyson, and that's where he made all that money.
And then remember, it got to the point where it was like, you know, people were complaining because they spent all this money, and then he would fucking kill the guy in 13 seconds.
Right.
Everybody's like standing there like, I didn't get my money's worth. Like, well, yes, you did. History.
Don't go to the refrigerator.
No.
But you got to remember, before all this pay-per-view, before all this Osada, Jack Johnson, Max Schmeling, Ray Robinson, Marcia, Sonny Liston. Do you know how many guys were Mike Tyson's?
Right.
All them guys. We just didn't have the technology and the TV to see all that. Sonny Liston, when he used to hit you, he'd lift you off the canvas. That's how hard and solid Sonny Liston strong he was. Nobody, even Cuss the model. He told Floyd Patterson he's gonna fucking kill you. His own fighter.
Magooch is joining us.
Oh.
Hey, Magooch.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
Oh my God.
What's going on, Dindo?
Magucci Management is in the building. I'm pumped. So, how are you, Booms?
Not too bad. Just have my coffee and smoke it.
Nice. Well, do we expect anything else from you? What the fuck? Here, let me join you, Magooch. Hang on, okay? Oh,
Got to join for the holidays. What are you kidding?
I know. I've been up since 4 this morning. I'm waiting for Todd Father. I'm ready to go shopping. I'm all pumped up today.
Yeah,
I'm
me
ready
too. I'm gonna get on the road. I think by hopefully by 12. I'm hopefully.
Nice.
You know,
I just don't want to hit a wall. I'm worried things might hit a wall today. Might have to take a nap or something.
right. But you got to remember, I got an 18 to 20 hour ride. I go straight through.
I know you do. I know.
So, but it not only that, it's good because, in other words, tomorrow, once I hit New York, I'm not going to hit all the traffic. You know, if I leave here at 12, like I say, tomorrow I go right through the Verrazano, everything.
Oh, nice. Okay. And it's
Without that 3
Saturday too.
o'clock in the afternoon traffic. You know.
Right. I hear you.
How's it going, Osada?
What did he disappear on us?
Sorry, I put it on mute for a second. I'm walking into my kitchen to make some coffee. It's going good, Magooch. Super busy this morning, but doing
Listen,
well.
I got a good story for you guys. A betting story.
Come on.
Okay, this is a few years back, and it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday night football game, and Dallas is playing, and I'm sitting in my man cave in the house, and of course I wind up something stupid happens. Dallas winds up winning the game, and I'm stuck. I'm stuck maybe about 10,000-15,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Which at the time wasn't bad because we had very good weeks. So you're going to have that every once in a while. But the thing is, the year before, we came off a year that really wasn't that good. It was profitable, but it really wasn't a strong year. So I'm sitting and I'm looking at the Sunday night basketball game. There's maybe about a quarter left in the game once the football game is over, West Coast game, you know?
Right.
I think it's Denver. If I hit this game, I'm not stuck. I come out pretty much, maybe I come out losing 2,500 for the week, you know?
Right.
Big difference from 15,000, you know?
1,000. Yes.
All of a sudden, it's the last 5 seconds of the game, and the guy tosses the ball up, and he throws it in his own basketball hoop.
No fucking way.
The game goes over. Okay? To add insult to injury, add another 10,000 to it, okay?
Oh, my God. You made my back go out.
I'm sitting there, I flip out. I totally flip out, which is not unusual, but you know, you gotta expect these things.
Right.
I mean, you couldn't make it up. That's how crazy it was.
Right.
It was on SportsCenter like crazy. The guy tosses the basketball up in the air and throws it in his own hoop.
I think I remember that game.
Yeah, and the game goes over.
Oh my
then,
God.
The basketball, a lot of the basketball play was unders and overs.
Yes.
You know, because there was so many points being scored, 140 to 137, you know?
Right. And then once the 3-pointers came into basketball, it was all over with.
Exactly. It changed the whole game.
Whole game of the face of that game in betting. Yep. I mean, those guys, you could be down 10, 12 on an over and under with a minute left. They hit 3-pointers and a couple baskets you're in.
Exactly.
Yep.
When he threw the basket in his own basket, how did it like slip out of his hand, or he just
he threw it in the air?
He threw it up in the air, like in other words, like the end of the game. He didn't mean to throw it in his basket. It happened to go in. He threw it up.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that is insane.
And sends the game over by 2 points.
Oh,
it's Osada. It's just like spiking the football at the end zone and not getting in there. Okay, same thing.
You know, it's so crazy.
Oh, that's a Jim Marshall. picking up the
Yep.
fumble and running the wrong way.
I think
Yep.
I'd be in a mental institution if that happened to me right now. I don't know.
Right.
if I
Oh
can.
my God.
Well, don't you remember Thanksgiving Day? Don't you remember Thanksgiving Day? He saved the spread, Don Beebe.
Yeah,
When he
yeah,
whacked the
yeah,
ball,
yeah.
when he
Uh-huh.
whacked the ball out of Leon Lett's hand at the 1 yard line.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that saved the point spread that game.
So
Man.
you never know what's gonna happen. You never know. You're never
No.
safe.
No,
Never
no,
safe.
not
Right.
in sports and gambling. You're done. You're out there. Yep.
Yep.
Just like in 86, 80. No, I was married. 87, 88. Down thousands. Make a long story short, I bet the Philadelphia Flyers game over for the cash out. Even.
Uh-huh.
So at the end of the first period, it was 3-2. I had it over like 5.5.
Right.
So at the end of the second period, it was like 5-3. So Dean, we're jumping, we're celebrating. All of a sudden, newsflash: the Philadelphia Flyers game has just been postponed and ended. The roof blew off of it.
Oh my God.
Look it up. Look it up on YouTube. You'll see it. It'll come up.
Dude, you know what I was thinking about the other night? Do you remember back in the day for the Rangers, Nick Fotiu?
Absolutely, for Theo.
He was a nut job, that guy.
Yes, he was a fighter too, Nick Patil.
Yeah, he was in the stands hitting a fan with his own shoe.
Yes. Well, you know who he came in with, right? Eddie Shack.
No,
Eddie Shack. All them guys, those sick bastards. They were all nuts on, Spinner Spencer. All them guys came from like the AHL. They were all whack jobs.
Yeah,
and they
Nick
were good
Fotiu was
players.
tough, man.
Yes. Derek Sanderson. All them guys came out of that like WHL league. When they came to the NHL, they had that fighting, that sloppy approach to everything.
Right.
Long hair, beard, mustache.
I think that time when he was in the stands fighting with fans, I think it was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think of what Pittsburgh or what.
Pittsburgh or Boston, one of them.
Boston, yes, I was going to say Boston too.
You know,
I gotta
he was
check
in the
that.
stands beating a guy up with his own shoe. Oh my God, that was hockey.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when Schoenfeld brought Cashman through the boards, the Zamboni area, and they were fighting out right into the fucking arena? I went bananas. I went bananas. Okay.
I like this kid the Rangers got now. The kid that fights.
Oh, what's his name? I know who he is. Yes.
He's the big kid.
Hey, listen, you got to have enforcers on your team. That's hockey.
Yes.
Okay. That's hockey. Sorry. I don't care what anybody says. You take the fight out of hockey, you might as well give that game right up.
But I don't know what happened to them. They had a good team about 4 or 5 years ago, and they just fell apart.
Magooch, I had season tickets forever. I gave them season tickets up. I haven't been back to a Sabre game in over 12 years. Okay.
Really?
Yes. When they go bad, they go bad.
Yeah. Florida's been on the run for the last couple of years. They got some team.
Yeah, Florida. Yeah.
The Panthers.
Yes. Good. They got a good team.
Dean, have you seen the what do you call it? I'm sorry, Osada. Have you
you're
seen
good.
the renderings of that stadium, the Oakland A's building in Vegas?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God! You can't.
I got to look at it. Really? And it's a baseball stadium?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God! I got to look at it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be some stadium.
I love. You know what? And I love Oakland. I love that city. I love Oakland. I love every from the Coliseum, from the days. I got to get down there one day, man.
Yeah, when Reggie was there.
Oh. Charlie Finley had the Oakland A's. Davis had the Oakland Raiders. Are you kidding?
Even when Billy Martin was their manager.
Billy Martin, that was the best when he was over there. Yep.
Yeah. They had a good team. Dennis
Yes, they
Ecker's
did.
league.
Yeah. They had the McGuire. They had what's his name? Canseco. They had McGuire. They had them all at that time.
Yep. Ricky Henderson.
Henderson, Maudon. That's base stolen. He's got the record still of stolen bases. Yeah.
Nobody's going to break that record.
Nobody. They can't. They'll never
Nobody
break
ever
that
thought
record.
Lou Brock was going to get broken.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
that was a tough thing.
Hank Aaron too.
Yeah.
How about you remember Hank when he hammered that home run on Monday night? We went nuts. Yeah. Hey, OJ did the same thing at 2,000 yards when he broke Brown's record. Nobody touched OJ's record for a long time, man. I think Eric Dickerson broke it first. OJ's rushing record, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember right now. But yeah.
But I think Buffalo, I think they're in a good position right now, you know?
Yeah, they are.
This game last week was a big game against the Patriots.
I know. Nobody realizes how big that game really was. Okay.
Yeah, it's going into their stadium. They got a good team, you know?
Yup. Took the air out of them for a second. That's what you need.
Exactly.
Yep. All right, guys, I got to get going. I'm sorry. Break up this great conversation right now.
All right. Have a good day. Osada, have a good one.
All right, Maguchi, I'll see you later on. Stop by.
All right.
Thanks for coming up, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes,
all right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Everybody. Yes.
All right. Take care, guys. Thanks for coming up. All right. Great conversation. I have to go as well. Steven says that he offered to take you to a Sabre game, Thindo. And he also said, tell Thindo I will tell him about the George Brett Pine Tar game. So thanks for hanging out, Steven, and Magooch and Thindo for coming up, ALV, Sweet Tea, Joe Della, CG2, all you guys. I got to get a move on. Have a great day.